But first, if the Prime Minister's plan to spend another $4 billion would really fix Aboriginal disadvantage, I would say yes. But what Anthony Albanese announced today is $4 billion to make poverty permanent. It is such a disaster, driven by blind ideology. Albanese today announced the federal and new Northern Territory government will spend $4 billion over 10 years to build up to 270 houses a year for Aborigines. And this was how to get Aboriginal children in school, Aboriginal adults in great jobs.
The first step in that, before you can address health problems, before you can address getting kids to school and getting people educated and getting people the opportunity of a good, well-paying, secure job, is a secure roof over someone's head.
In fact, the critical thing about these houses is where you build them. And that is the problem. These houses will be in remote communities where there's almost no work, no good, well-paying jobs, and few role models for the children to show them what getting an education, going to school, could lead to. And this really then is part of a destructive leftist fantasy that traditional Aboriginal ways are best, to pay for Aborigines to live out bush as kind of museum exhibits, even though statistics are clear. Aborigines in remote areas are the most likely to suffer terrible rates of unemployment, domestic violence, children skipping schools. It's in the cities where Aboriginal living standards are highest. So these houses will keep Aborigines exactly where their children have least hope. It dooms another generation to live in poverty. Now, note, I said the same when John Howard, a Liberal, was Prime Minister too. I told him to his face after he went to Wadare in remote Northern Territory to promise millions to get that town on its feet, to give children a future. I warned that he could put gold taps in every home there and it would stay a welfare ghetto. And indeed, since then, riots and a killing in Wadare 2 years ago, 37 homes trashed or burned down, 400 locals fled to the bush for safety, more violence and attacks on police there 3 months ago. And now Albanese is spending $4 billion more on this kind of mirage. And look at the cost. For a start, the Northern Territory Chief Minister says this $4 billion is going to help 10,000 Aborigines. That is $400,000 for every single man, woman and child. There's seriously no better way to spend $400,000 a person on these people to help them. This package also means spending each year $400 million to build up to 270 houses. More maths, that works out to almost $1.5 million for every home. That's 3 times the price of building an average home, according to Bureau of Statistics data. And again, Albanese today couldn't see that problem.
We've built in the factors of inflation that occurs over a 10-year period, but it's also we want to make sure as well that we're providing employment and skills and that upgrade as we're going. These homes, we're looking at 3-bedroom homes on average. Many of them, of course, are in very remote communities is what we're looking at, and with that comes additional costs. We accept that.
He could instead use that money to build 3 times more houses in Sydney, where there's a real housing crisis and real jobs. But here we go, spending it instead where there's no work and no future. Albanese's plan is just giving failure a home.